All right, hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It is Mr. G, and we are talking about our artist of the week. And our artist of the week this week is an artist who does oil paintings. His name is Cam Rackham, and that's Rackam. We'll show his name here in a minute. He typically does oil paintings on board, and this is an excellent example of what he typically does. He does these paintings, and he typically uses like macabre subject matter, specifically skulls and skeletons, and he juxtaposes them against symbols of life, like in this case, flowers. Um, Sorry, my kitty is here and making it extra hard to navigate. Um, but I specifically chose this artist because he is a current artist, and his work changed a little bit here in the past year because he was dealing with the pandemic. He's a very prolific artist. He usually does about 65 paintings a year. As I said, he paints in oil. I'm going to switch over here to this other website, and I switch to this just so you can kind of get a sense of how big some of these are and how small some of them. Some of them are small paintings, like this one he's working on here. It looks like it's about maybe a 16 by 20 painting he's working on there. But he paints in oils, as I said. Here's a bit larger one. He paints in this style that's kind of evokes, he says, kind of like a 17th century kind of Baroque style. Think of like that, these high shadows and deep darks that like really provoke a sense of drama in them. He likes to use bright colors, especially juxtaposed against the skull motifs and the whole issue of life and death. But over the past year, as you and I and everybody else in the world has been going through the pandemic, so has he. And he didn't really like his work and was feeling a bit uninspired. And then one day, him and his wife were at the grocery store and they went down the candy aisle. And he was inspired by all the bright colors in the candy aisle. So his current series of work, which is up here at the top of this page that I will link in the page, all deals with candy with his same similar subject matter of life and death. Here is one that's called Be Mine Print. He is a sucker, as he says, for any kind of work that's highly detailed like this. Like I said, he paints these kind of highly realistic um, chiaroscuro, heavy darks and lights, very dramatic paintings, and he loves the colors. So that's called Be Mine. Here is one that is just really technically impressive here. This is all painted with candy sprinkles, and this is painted from life. He paints all his stuff from actual life. So he makes all these things in order to paint them. So he took a skull and literally rolled it around in candy sprinkles in order to get this image to have a subject matter to paint from with light, and he lights it specifically how he wants it. Very impressive. There's some prints of this. This is an artist print store called Big Cartel, where a lot of artists will sell their work. Here is one called Eye Candy. But he really liked the idea of the taking the idea of, instead of like flowers or other motifs for life, such as the wedding pictures and stuff, with the playfulness of the candy, and brought a different kind of aspect to this. Here is one called Melty. I was reading about this. As I said, he makes all of these models himself. So he made a mold of a skull, and he tried many different kinds of candy and material in here in order to get it to set up so that he could paint it, which is super fun. This one is called Ice Cream Print. And this one is called We All Scream for Ice Cream. And there are other various ones on here. I want you to go ahead and look through the print, and we're just going to focus on his current series of work here. He's got some of his older ones. I want you to go and just pick on here. And like I said, I chose this artist specifically because he adjusted his work in accordance to the pandemic in order to change what he was doing in reflection to how he was feeling. So for this week, for Artist of the Week, you're going to watch this video. Obviously, you're watching it right now, and you're going to look at the artist's work. Okay, I want you to choose one of the artist's works and talk about what attracted you to it. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Do you find it offensive? Do you think it's creative? Do you think the artist does a good job? You can talk about the technicality of the art. Okay, if you can, go ahead and you can try to collect the art from it. You can just right click on most of these images and save the image as or copy it. So if you go ahead and copy that so we know which image you're talking about. And you can just create a Google document and attach that image and answer the 2 questions. The second question I'd like you to talk about, the artist uses candy to show a sense of playfulness and joy juxtaposed to skulls which symbolize life and death. Okay. Do you think the artist is successful in those efforts? And then I want you to discuss how and why. Okay. Again, I want you to, for this project, you are going to make a Google document and you will include the picture that you chose for the first question if you can, and then answer the 2 questions. These need to be answered in full sentences, full thoughts. They're not one-word answers. Do not answer just one word, yes or no. Please answer those in full thoughts. Okay, so that is our Artist of the Week, Cam Rackham. I will include the video and the 2 websites which I chose on here and an Instagram feed if you want to check out more of his stuff. Thank you so very much. Stay creative, and we'll talk to you soon in class.